So we're in New Orleans, and is known as being a blending pot of music, food, and culture, where the streets are filled with a mix of jazz music and the smells of authentic Creole cooking. But for one weekend, the Bayou becomes the center stage of an epic horsepower battle known as the Ultimate Streetcar Series. So coming to New Orleans, the cards are kind of stacked against us. The few days before getting here didn't really go as planned. We were hoping to get the car to a local track to do some testing because I haven't sat in this car as far as driving it since December a year ago. So with all the new modifications we've done, from suspension and new rear end from the drive shaft shop with new gear ratio, we put a new clutch in, plus we're on a whole new tire compound from Bridgestone. I don't know how the car's going to even react when I get into it, so we were hoping to do some testing and it just didn't happen. In a last ditch scramble, you know, the car was a little late getting in the trailer and getting down to here to New Orleans. So we're here, you know, the car's running. I've got faith in the guys as far as setting up the car. So we're kind of going to have this as a shakedown. You know, this is going to be a lot of testing and we're just going to have to adjust on the fly and see what happens. So the Ultimate Streetcar Series is a selection of competition events. It's not just one deal. It's not just road course racing. It's not just autocross. They actually judge you in like a design and engineering portion of it, where actually you have 3 or 4 experienced car builders evaluate your car. Plus you have to do a road rally because you have to verify that your car is technically street legal. It can operate on any city or county road out there. It's not probably the most exciting aspect, but hey, we're in New Orleans, so we get to drive around downtown and that portion of it. Now they base this also with the road rally and the start-stop challenge. So you've got basically 5 competing events to earn points in the system, and they divide this up between 2 days. Well, day 1 is the autocross, the design engineering, and the road rally. So all 3 on one day right off the bat. And here's where you have to look at strategy. Which do you do first? Do you go out there and run the autocross some, take a break, then take your car over to design and engineering to have it evaluated? So our plan of attack was, let's go ahead and knock out design and engineering first. The car is nice and clean. It's come out the trailer and everything there. We don't have any scrapes, any road grime on it or anything like that. So it kind of looks the best it's probably going to look this whole weekend. So after design and engineering, we lined up for autocross. Now the cool thing about with the Ultimate Streetcar Series is there's only a select number of cars that get into this event. It's not open to like 200-300 cars. So with the limited number of cars that actually come to, that can get into this event and qualify, you can get almost 8-9 runs out of a day, whereas some events you maybe only get 3 or 4. You know, I think here we actually saw 10 runs total. So with setting up the autocross, we ran a couple passes. You know, we did maybe 2 or 3 sessions and then kind of diagnosed what was going on with the car once I kind of got my line involved. With JJ being there from Ultimate Performance, with his prototype suspension, he was actually able to come over and make some quick adjustments, and I saw some improvement on it where we needed to stiffen up the suspension. So we actually, from the first pass at the autocross to the very last pass we did, we actually saw about 8 to 9 seconds improvement just by making little tweaks there and just learning the autocross. So the road rally is probably not the most exciting portion of the Ultimate Streetcar Series, but it's really important because it actually determines and proves that your car is a street legal car. It is an ultimate street car. It's got to have everything DOT approved on that. You've got to have the headlights, the turn signals, the horn, the correct tires on there, and all that kind of stuff. in order to compete. So they actually put you on the city streets out there. And the way they kind of work it is pretty cool because you don't know where you're going to go. They actually give you an address and you have to leave the motorsports track, drive your car there to that destination they give to you, check in, and then come back. And you have a certain amount of time in order to complete that time trial in. The cool thing is that it's worth 100 points if you complete it. The bad thing is you have to behave while you're out there because you've got Johnny Law. Can't go out there breaking speed limits and doing burnouts as much as you may want. And kind of the way the Ultimate Streetcar Series prevents you from doing that is they take your driver's license and they stick it in an envelope and then they initial the envelope after they've sealed it. Now, if you get pulled over by Johnny Law and you have to pull out that driver's license and show it, you obviously had to take it out of the envelope. That means you get 0 points on that event. So you have to behave yourself, and when you come back in, you show them that the envelope's still nice and sealed and everything else, and you get your 100 points. It can be a real big deciding factor depending on where you're placing in some of the other competition events. So this year with the start-stop challenge, they actually were running 2 cars at a time. That means we had to run a good time in the right lane, then immediately go over to the left lane and try to run a good time there. They take the 2 times, average them together, and that's your score. Then they relate that to the point structure. We were able to make about 2 or 3 passes on each side and got down to about the quickest we were going to get. So next was the road course. So here at NOLA, they have a pretty awesome road course setup. It's 2.75 miles long, has over like 16 curves in it, and the straightaway is actually 3,200 feet long. So you can really rip the gears there and you'll see speeds, you know, we may see like 140, 130, right around that range. So really excited to get the car on the track, kind of learn the line, and then see how fast we can push this track challenge. During the road course setup, every timed lap we ran, we kept getting faster. From the first time lap to the very last one, we were averaged about a second to just over a second faster with every lap. Bad thing is we just ran out of daylight. We were figuring out how much I could push the car, we're making adjustments on the car, and me just learning the track. You know, right now, technically, the car is faster than I am, and the only thing to fix that is just more seat time in the car. So overall, for the whole weekend, we came in 18th out of 30 cars in the GT class, which in and of itself, yes, we would have liked to have been first. Everybody wants to win, but it wasn't really bad considering this was a whole shakedown event. We had no seat time, we had a lot of new parts, and the car really kind of felt like a whole new, better car for me this year. Really excited about Kentucky coming up because I think we're going to do really well there. But as far as New Orleans, man, it was great, you know, meeting old friends and new friends, experiencing some of the food and the people and the music and stuff. And of course, spending a weekend racing is always great. So for more information on us, visit TRAKitMotorsports.com or check us out on our social media sites on Facebook and Instagram. And we hope to see you at a track soon.